Good evening to you. It is Tuesday, February 22nd at almost 9 p.m., 8:59 p.m. Your Purdue Boilermakers played okay tonight. Maybe let out a little bit of frustration for Steve Pikiell's seeming domination over Matt Painter. He's 5-8. He was 5-8 against Painter coming into this one. And even the games that Purdue would win, like the last one at Rutgers, were hard. Tough efforts. Rutgers is a good team. They're a lot tougher than they used to be, right? But tonight, Purdue just absolutely lets them have it. Purdue wins 96-68. Purdue gets their 24th win on the season. They're 24-3 now. And like everybody got involved. It was a ton of fun. These are games that I love. These are the games that I relish. Absolutely just can't get enough of stuff like this. And Purdue was merciful. They did. Let's see. The only thing that didn't really go Purdue's way is the Mackey faithful, my brother, my nephew, many others, didn't get free chicken. I'm going to talk all about it. I'm going to talk all about what I saw, what I thought about the game, what actually happened, as I've got it in quad view here in front of me, watching highlights. I'll talk all about it. But first, I want to thank my friends. Right now, hopefully, I'm on a big screen at AJ's. I don't know if I am, but sometimes Jake likes to put the post games up on the big screen on the wall at AJ's. If I'm live in AJ's, hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying some pretzel appetizers or mac and cheese bites. That's what I like to get, or maybe some Italian beef, burgers, beef, beer. That's AJ's. Maybe you're having a pint. Look down at the bottom of your pint when you go to AJ's in the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks. There's a surprise coming for you when you go to AJ's. Look in the bottom of your pint. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Next up, if you want a shirt that's better than this one, I mean, they've got them better than this. And this is the world leader of athletic apparel. Can't remember the name of this company, but I can always remember the name of Home Field Apparel. I almost botched it. HomeFieldApparel.com. Put a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a hat into your cart. Enter Boiled23 at checkout. Get 15% off your first order. Home Field, good folks. They've got a bunch of new gear. They've got a new Old Timey Pete sweatshirt. I love Old Timey Pete with the blockhead. But they've got one now where he's in white ink. It's a gray sweatshirt. Raglan sleeve construction. It's a beaut. That's the one I suggest. It's the one I'd really like to have on my person right now. I'm a little chilly. Actually, I'm not chilly. It's really nice in central Indiana. So let's talk about the game. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to you who are tuned in live right now. Really appreciate the energy. Really appreciate the fact that this is part of your post-game ritual. But Purdue plays flat-out beautiful basketball today. There's no other way to say it. They played good on defense. They played great on offense. Everything was clicking. At one point, I think they were hitting 70% of their threes late in the first half. They had 8 or 9 in the first half as a team. And everybody was getting involved, I think, except Lawyer still didn't. I don't know if I haven't looked at his stats yet. And I really wanted him to fill it up a bit. But Cam Heide played a ball game. Cam Heide was making shots from deep. Cam Heide was showing his athleticism, doing some things. Like he had a play where he went up on the baseline late in the game, the old up and under, but he was way under the glass and reached way out because he's a little bit taller than 5'4" Boiler Dowd, and made Big Cliff look a little silly. And Cliff can play. Cliff can. I've always respected his game. He can get up. He's a great athlete. He's a tough player. But tonight, Purdue was up by 20 at the half. And in the first 5 minutes of the second half, you could feel, okay, Rutgers is in big trouble. And it turns out they were in huge trouble. In the first half, early in the game, in the first 9 minutes or so, Purdue was struggling on the glass, especially defensive glass. And Rutgers was getting second and third chances. And that's always death. That's a big problem. And Rutgers is a team that can challenge Purdue on the glass some nights. I guarantee you they didn't challenge them tonight by the time the game was over. I'll check that here in a second. Did not look at that number. If I were betting man, I'd say Purdue doubled them up. Zach Edey didn't play the last 11 minutes after a couple. He was fouled intentionally twice on one possession. One guy hits him with an elbow and then a hand to his chin. And then another guy grabs him without making intention on the ball. They call the second foul. They review it and say it was the first one. Well, they say the second was a common foul and the first one didn't exist. So I know the refs wanted to get out of there, but that was complete bullshit. You don't do that. And I think Painter kind of felt the game was getting a little silly. Rutgers was extremely frustrated. Purdue wasn't running them up, but they were running them up. They weren't trying to not be gentlemanly. But as somebody said to me, maybe the rules on this and my perception on this for college needs to go away. You've got guys now, this is the NIL era, so you have a lot of pros on that court, if not every single one of them, right? And so if guys get beaten, do something about it. Maybe that's the way we should look at it. And that's a change of perspective for me, because generally I would say for college basketball, don't run it up, don't beat teams up too badly. Painter does a good job not doing that, taking guys out when you need to. I think it's wise anyway, just to keep them away from injury. But we are in a new era, and it's kind of fair to say, okay, these guys are pros, big boy ball. Maybe we should just play all the way to the whistle until triple zeros. Let's see who else played well. Lance Jones was back. He was knocking down threes. He was doing what he does, driving the ball well. Braden Smith was an absolute virtuoso for the middle 20 minutes. So the last 10 minutes of the first half and the first 10 minutes of the second half, he had the game on a string. Absolutely setting everyone up for success, doing big things. Didn't need to shoot it, I think, very much. The funny thing is he didn't have as many assists as we're accustomed to. And I know he had quite a few turnovers. Early in the game, Purdue was on course for a very, very ugly game according to turnovers, even though I think the game at that point was like 5 or 6 point. And I think Purdue had already at that point had 5 turnovers at the halfway point in the first half. And I'm sure they did not end up with too many turnovers because they just absolutely took control. They showed who they were tonight. Purdue wins 96-68, is now 24-3. UConn, the number 1 team in the nation, just lost. Houston plays Baylor at Baylor on Saturday. Who knows? I thought Purdue had no shot at getting back to number 1 this year. It doesn't really matter if they do. But tonight is a big game because a lot of Purdue fans, I wasn't one of these people. I really wasn't horribly worried about Rutgers beating Purdue. I just thought the game would be closer and more stressful. The next game, for some reason, is the one that bothers me. And it's the one that bothers me for multiple reasons. It's the game that would hurt the worst, right? The Ohio State game, I said it during my post game. I think it's the worst loss in the last 2 years, other than FDU, of course, because of the nature of the team. Northwestern has been awfully good. Nebraska has shown at home they are a really, really good team. Rutgers last year was a very tough team. So losing to those teams, that's not the end of the world. But losing to Ohio State, to me, felt worse. It felt bad. I said it bothered me after the game. It still bothers me. Here's the thing about a loss like that. It's not in a vacuum. How does it affect the rest of the season? And if this is any indicator what Purdue is going to do the rest of the season in the wake of that loss, sign me up. I don't want any more losses, but if you got to take a loss or 2 to get yourself right, to get centered, I really don't want them to take 2. Illinois is doing what they can do to give Purdue a waltz into the Big Ten championship, the regular season. They, of course, lost to Penn State in very improbable fashion. Our friend, your friend, Hawkins, runs his mouth on the internet, runs his mouth during games, and then goes ahead and makes huge mistakes. He pretty much gave Penn State that game with a stupid foul from 3 and missing 2 free throws if you missed it. That's how Penn State beat Illinois. If you didn't know this, Illinois was up by 7 on Penn State with a minute left. Pretty damning stuff. So let's talk about our Boilers. Like I said, Zach Edey, shocker, 25 points, 7 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a pair of blocks, and 0 turnovers. He cleaned up that mess that he had last game, and he had a tough assignment because not only was Big Cliff playing him tough, but he was getting attacked, honestly. Not illegally, not poorly. I don't think Rutgers was playing a cheap brand of basketball at all today. In fact, it was a very beautiful, free-flowing game in the first half. Felt a bit like the Arizona game to me, the way Purdue was playing offense. And sure enough, they absolutely went off in the second half and made it really ugly. Another guy that plays well, like we said, Lance Jones tonight. He goes 3 for 8 from 3, 17 points, a rebound, an assist, a steal, 2 turnovers. Braden Smith, like I said, he had a bunch of fouls in the first half. Well, all 4 of them, I believe, maybe had 1 in the second half, but I think he had 4 in the first half. Either way, he finishes with 13 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block. And then off the bench, this is where Purdue was notably better tonight than they were versus Ohio State. Guys were contributing off the bench, and Painter gave himself a hard time. And Painter gave Cam Heide a pretty big compliment. He said, every time I put Heide in the game, big things happen. He just needs more chances, and that's on the coach. And he's right. He's absolutely right. Cam Heide, 18 points on, my gosh, 7 for 7 field goals, 4 for 4 from 3-point. I mean, dag nab. He was awesome. And my wife said, he's going to start next year. And I said, I don't see why he wouldn't. Obviously, you got these freshmen are going to breathe down these guys' necks. Colvin showed a lot of why a lot of people are excited. He had a curl where he hit a 3 with a man in his face. He had another putback dunk that was awesome. A lot of people are excited about Colvin's ability, his athleticism. That stroke is amazing. But Heide, man, he has shown that that let's not forget, he had a redshirt year to get better and to really understand the game, and he does. And he's already a supreme athlete and a great shooter, but he got completely healthy in that redshirt year, and it shows that extra year. Gillis off the bench, again, 9 points on 3 of 5 shooting from deep. And the thing that was good about that is he wasn't hesitating. This wasn't the pump fake Gillis that was annoying so many Purdue fans versus Ohio State. This is a guy who was in it to win it. Let's see. First had 5 points, looked awesome, had a big drive from the top of the key where he finished. I don't know if he made that, but he may have hit his free throws. Let's see. He was 3 for 4 from the line. So here, another fun thing. Last game, Purdue was 100% from the free throw line, 20 for 20. And they followed it up with a dud, right, at Mackey? That's what you're thinking? No, not tonight. 18 for 20 from the free throw line, 90%. 90%. So that's a pretty good couple games. You can do that. On top of that, Purdue shoots 52% from 3 and nearly 60% from the floor altogether. That's a hell of a game. All right, so let's see what you guys have to say about the game tonight. All Cool D says, let's go. Had a couple Boiler Gold vibes. Are immaculate. Had a couple Gold Rush, right? The gold can, because there's a black can. So nice. So you were in the house tonight. That's awesome. Or maybe you just got them at home. I don't know. You got to clarify. Need to be in versus checking in from Mackey. Boiler up. Thank you for being there. Say hi to my brother. Just wave to him. He and his son, my nephew, are there. Patrick Gottschall says, clink, clink, boiler up. Somebody threatened me, by the way. I'm trying to drink and do the ice. They threatened me, said they wouldn't come back if I kept doing the ice. And I was so offended by it that I did the ice extra during that. Come on. I mean, give me a break. I can understand it annoys some of you guys, but it's a thing. It's okay. If you don't like it, put your fingers in your la la la. It's sticking around. Boilers 012 says, sorry, Boiler Dad, but you appear happy. That's a technical foul. Yeah, refs made it clear. No happiness allowed. And that's a good reference. Thank you for bringing that up. There were 2 really cheap technical fouls early in the game. One was on Fernandez. I don't know how his name is Fernandez. Fernandez on Rutgers, who has the worst cut sideburns in America. His hair is cut up to here and has a wonderful mop on top. But he had words for, can't remember who it was, on Purdue. He hit a 3, refs tech him up. Boom. And then maybe his lawyer, Jones, I don't know. Then, moments later, Heide hits a 3 from the corner, right in front of Rutgers' bench. Rutgers' bench was giving him the business. Of course, that's what the players do. He turned around and said something back. Tech on him. So we saw 2 stupid, cheap techs. Very good point. Thanks for bringing that up. This is why I love taking the comments, because this is stuff I forget. In spite of all the words I say, I forget some important points. So thanks for bringing that up. Akuldi says, gosh, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Heide breakout game word. That was fun to watch. Joseph Sasser says, let's go, Brock Stepler. That was fun. Want to see more of Heide. Me too. He has to be on the floor more, in my opinion. And I think, man, next person, Jeff, just Jeff, says start Cam. Cam looks awfully good. I had someone ask me before the game, what's the story with Lawyer? I think it was early in the game, pardon me. And I give him my theory. I just think that Painter really trusts his wherewithal, his understanding of what's happening in the game. And so that's why he plays so much. That's why he's still in the lineup. And I also think Painter doesn't want to lose him because he doesn't want to not lose him in the program, but lose his confidence. I think his confidence is already kind of shot. And it's something he's going to have to shoot his way out of. I didn't talk about it. Let's look at that real quickly. Let's see. So Lawyer finishes with 2 points on 0 for 2 shooting, so 2 free throws. And the 2 free throws were technical foul free throws. Going tying in a nice bow. Jason Dammer says, clinky, clinky. Right on. Mr. Meister says, love to see Heide cooking. Yeah, it was awesome. Let's see. Ted Berkey, that was fun. Boilermaker 63, every starter, even Zach, had at least 1 steal. Yeah, and Zach had an awesome steal, right? Because I think Smith was D'ing up a guy on the left side. Kind of knocked the ball loose. Rutgers player looked like he was going to get back. Edey came up, got the steal, the loose ball steal, and pushed it up the court to Jones. So maybe it was Jones. And Jones got an easy bucket. Very good point. Yeah, that's awesome to see all those guys getting steals. Purdue really cared tonight. And I'm not saying they don't care other nights, but it was obvious. They were dialed in. That was a good brand of basketball. Brian Feldman says, sounds like Payne is going to play Heide more in March. You hope. Great defense and made more threes than Fletch has in 5 games. Yeah, Fletch has had a tough month. There's no way around it. No other way around it. Fletch has had 1 3 in the month of February. Edey has had 1 3 in the month of February. And Heide today had, what did we say, 4 for 4? Is that what I said? Yeah. Fletch is a better shooter than that. He just is. And this is a rough period. My hope, my prayer, whatever you want to say, is that the dude gets hot during the Big Ten tournament and then just helps rip through the tournament. We see the Fletch, the big game Fletch is what the guys at Sleepers call him. When Fletch is dialed in, he's a special player. He's either hurt, fatigued, or in his head right now. Got to get out of that, though. Let's see. Chris Feltz says, Cam needs to start. Colvin needs more time. Agreed. Andrew Wide says, long flight back to Jersey. No kidding. No kidding. It'll be a quiet one, too. Nice to sleep in for them. Nolam23 says, Heide and Gillis deserve to start. Heide and Gillis, but this is Painter's thing. If you haven't figured this out, there's always at least one starter that comes off the bench that is there to kind of punch your second stringers in the mouth, right? This is something Painter started doing a couple years ago. Obviously, Travion Williams would have been starting for literally anybody in the nation. He's shown it. He's a good pro, right? And he came off the bench for Edey. And that's another thing. If you're looking at tendencies, generally, well, it doesn't so much work here because they're both underclassmen. But Gillis coming in for TKR makes complete sense. It's completely equivalent, completely, it's analogous to what he used to do with Edey and Trey. Big long point for going nowhere. Kevin Pass says, God, I love party ones at Mackey. Yeah, place is great. DJ C 3232. You're on my big screen. Boiler up, hammer down. That's good. That's an honor to be on the big screen. Nathan Dolence. Heide. Great ball movement. So fun listening to Hummel and Benetti. Yeah, that's the A-team for me. Those two guys are pros. Obviously, Hummel's great. I love Benetti, so I'm with you. Britt Williams says, rest may be good for the Lawyer. Let's see if we can get away from some of these. Adam Beasley says, Lawyer had a rough defensive start to the second, but does so much more than score on offensive end. Good. Like to hear a positive here. Heide needs more minutes. They need to come from Morton. By the way, Morton played a hell of a game. If you watch the way he doesn't stop, he does not stop, and he annoys the hell out of the other team. Purdue's up by a lot of points. Morton's doing yeoman's work in there, guarding guys out to 80 feet. He also, when he was running point tonight, he crossed a dude twice in the same possession. That was fun to see. I love to see that stuff. Carrot Panda says the bench has really made a statement this season. Painter needs to keep changing them out, keep the whole team fresh all game, and he's done a decent job at that. I'd say he can do better. Let's see. Kent Mertz says Heide was maximum efficiency tonight. Love watching Colvin rise and fire. Ted Bixby says, good name. Traveled from Charlotte to watch the Northwestern overtime game at Mackey, but started our festivities with a great burger at AJ's. Now that's the way. That's an evening right there. It's a good day. I can't remember. Was the Northwestern game an afternoon or an evening game? I think it was afternoon, wasn't it? It's a nice day, though. It's a nice day. Vincent Moster says, we saw tonight what this team can do when they play loose and move the ball. Yeah, this team, ladies and gentlemen, is awfully good when they are playing not with the world on their shoulders, right? And they didn't start that game off that way, but they got looser as it went on. That's a great point. Gentry BN says, how we wish Purdue would play every game, no doubt. So much fun. Painter left Lawyer in, trying to get him going. No luck with that quest. Heide and Colvin showed why they should always have more minutes. Let's be clear, more minutes than they have, right? This is going to be something that I'm going to have to deal with, and we're all going to have to deal with together. But let's try to focus on the positives. Heide played great. Let's see. Midwest Choker says, look like the number one overall seed tonight. They look like the best team in the nation. Nolan23 says, 3 miles. Colvin, Kevin in Albuquerque says, as ugly as we felt after Sunday's game, that's how good we feel tonight. Roll with the ups and downs. Keep going forward. Yeah, here's the thing. I know, we all know losses come in college basketball. UConn demonstrated that for everybody. They lost to Creighton. Creighton's a good team, but Creighton absolutely pistol whipped them, right? Losses come. Creighton is a good team. Good teams lose. Right now, I'm watching Ohio State struggle against Minnesota, okay? My whole point is Ohio State's not the team that Purdue made them look like. Ohio State's talented, there's no doubt. They've played under their potential, no doubt. That still is a frustrating loss, still. Michigan's up on Northwestern, by the way, right now by 8. Go Blue. Get confident. Have a little fun with it, Michigan. Karen Gerlach says, worried about Michigan. Trap game. I think Michigan is going to take it to us. I am worried about Michigan as well, but I'm worried about because of Painter's history, recent history versus bad teams. So I get that. Russell Collins says, hope we keep running. Yeah, I love the pace. I love the pace Purdue played with. Shane Hinkle, do you think Lawyer will be taken out of the starting lineup, or do you think Painter will actually change it up? If I were Painter, honestly, especially after this game, you beat the hell out of a team like that, keep him in, let it ride, and remind him of who he is. Like, show him tape of the Tennessee game. Got to get that guy right. Regardless, got to get him right. If you pull him from the starting lineup, you still got to get him right. Purdue needs him to be good, either off the bench or starting, and I think he's going to be starting. Seth Harder says, I wonder if that's Chris's brother. I don't know. Lawyer affected the game in a good way, even though he didn't score. Yeah, he played much better. I'll take that. Save his scoring for March. That's what I'm saying. Just like the games are a microcosm of the long season. This is a marathon, right? And so maybe we'll see the best Fletch Lawyer that he can be after he's gotten his legs under him. Hopefully that's all it is. Zach Young says, Hawkins is hilarious, acts like a tool bag, and that says, I don't know why people don't like me. Yeah, I got to tell you, I got a bone to pick, and I don't know if the Sleepers guys watch my post games, but yeah, Cam Hawkins does not deserve anybody's pity ever. He acts like a jackass during games. He acts like a jackass in his personal time, and then those guys at Sleepers went and kissed his ass for 20 minutes. I had a bigger problem with that than anything else they've said this season. Hawkins doesn't deserve that. There's some guys who are like, yeah, hey, I'm sorry you misunderstood me, or I think you're a good player, whatever. But they literally held their hat in their hands and talked to that guy like that for 20 minutes? Give me a break. Doesn't deserve it. Mortar and Avatar says, slammed in Heide. I like that. J Tent says, Painter's been playing Heide and Colvin 5-ish minutes every game to give him the opportunity to make the impact. Heide took advantage of it tonight, was rewarded. Yes, obviously. Judith Johnson. Tonight, I even enjoyed the commentary. Yes, again, that's the A-team. John King the second. John King the second says, Braden, Lance, Heide, Gillis, Edey is the lineup. And it's okay. It's okay if the best lineup comes off the bench, too. It really is. It really is. But I want to see those guys act like there's some urgency when they come in. Kevin in Albuquerque says the ice clink is like Red Alrex lighting the cigar. Exactly. And if you haven't noticed this, the brown liquors come out after wins. I know that happens a lot this year, but I don't drink water after a loss. I only drink water after a loss. Pardon me. Just because I think it's the right thing to do for me. Andy Buck says, put up 96 against the number 2 defense per KenPom. That kind of matters, right? But they broke their spirit. Make no bones about it. Rutgers was done with about, 13, 14 minutes in the second half. Let's see. Judith Johnson says, proud of these guys for sure. Andy in Colorado said, had to work, basically missed the game. Hope you got a DVR. This is one to watch. If you didn't, watch the Matt Loves Ball highlights. That'll be a nice condensed version of it. Totally should be a game you watch and just enjoy yourself. Super fun. JL says, ball movement and asserting the tone was what got them into rhythm. Yeah, Purdue just flexed on them. Let's be real honest. Judith Johnson, I'm with you on Morton. Ed Albany says, hello, boys. Glad to see we've won. I don't know if it's just me, you're saying boys, but there are also ladies here. So we just talked Judith and, is it Gerlach? Yeah, there's many women here. It's many, many women. It's 50-50 almost. They just don't like to speak up. Let's see. Karen Gerlach. There she is. Feel so bad for Fletcher. Boiler up from Fort Wayne. There you go. It's a hometown thing there. Wants to get it going. Yeah, everybody likes Fletch. Everybody likes Fletch. But we got to call an ace and a spade a spade. Beginning of the season, he started out rough. Then he started playing big game Fletch. And then we saw Fletch kind of fade out. We need Fletch to come back. We need, as a Purdue fan base, we need to see good Fletch. We need to see Fletch dialed in. We need to see Fletch smiling. I mean, that's the thing. You like these guys as much as I do. Even the people that are saying, you don't think Fletch should be in the lineup when he's playing this way. Nothing. Nobody's anything against Fletch. Everybody wants to see him play well. Go get him, Fletch. Let's see. Who's Johnny says Rutgers had two guys floating on Lawyer when he got the ball from Edey. So good. Rutgers is really good at what do they say, corporate settings, force multiplying, right? They look like they have 6, 7, 8 guys on the court sometimes. Number one, they are super long. You look at their guys underneath, they've got dudes, man. Every time I marvel at the way Rutgers bigs are built. I mean, they got that sophomore, the guy who had the cheap foul on Edey. I mean, his shoulders are freaking, my gosh, how do you find a suit coat to fit that guy? And then Cliff is an absolute mother. Yeah, I respect Rutgers. I really do. And I respect Peichel. But it's awesome to see Purdue kick their ass. Adam Beasley says, sleepers have left on their own biggest fan base from Purdue and Illinois. Feel like that encourages them to talk up Illinois. Has let it. Wait. I don't understand. I understand what you're saying, but Andrew Schultz says, Purdue without Edey outscored Rutgers. Feels good they did that. Yeah, so you remove Edey's 25 points, Purdue still wins. That's pretty awesome. Edey is an absolute... I don't know how else we can say this. I know many of us talked about, in the margins. We all talked about looking forward to the dance, looking forward to the dance, looking forward to the dance. Now the dance is right here. You've got Michigan... Oh, shoot. You got Michigan, Wisconsin. I'll get it in a second. Michigan, Illinois. Gosh darn it, I'm sorry. Michigan State. So at Michigan versus Michigan State, at Illinois, and then versus Wisconsin for senior night. Edey was on ESPN last night. He was on last night in the late slot with SVP. And I don't stay up ever for SportsCenter anymore. Not because I don't stay up late, because I stay up too late, honestly. But he was awesome. And all it made me think of is how great it is to have a guy who's not only the national player, he's going to be two-time National Player of the Year. And the way he represents himself. Like my son said, you can see why people hate him, right? And I said, he's a nice guy. I get why people get frustrated with him because you can't do anything about him. His bad games are 18 points and 7 rebounds, 9 rebounds, 10 rebounds. That's frustrating. Throw all your firepower at him, and then you still can't do anything. That's frustrating, I understand, but mercy, he's a good guy. He's been a great, great guy. And he's like the little rocket booster that got Purdue to the next level, getting them up. Think about it. Purdue hasn't been, it's not just because of him, but Purdue was never number one before Edey got here. And I'm not saying it's just Edey, but remember, that's Edey as a youngin', right? And Travion, the two-headed monster, helped lift Purdue. And that was Ivy, of course, right? Got Purdue to number one. Last year, they were at number one for 8 weeks. This year, they've been number one, I think, for 7. Lost count. It really doesn't matter. The whole point is the program is on this linear ride that you got to think, damn it, let's get over the hump. Let's break through. But Edey, gosh, what a blessing. What a blessing to have that guy as your favorite player. Your team's number one. You get to watch this guy night in, night out, just kick teams' asses, and then go on national TV and be completely respectful, respectable. Yeah, let's enjoy these last games versus Michigan or at Michigan versus Michigan State, at Illinois, and then senior night versus Wisconsin. All right, Andrew Schultz again says, okay, that's okay. Let's go down. Seth Harder says need something talking Fletch. Yeah, you need to give it to Fletch. Sure. Mike Williams recommend clear ice. Yeah, I don't have clear ice. I don't have a fancy. I almost got one of those refrigerator freezers that the LG IQ, I think, system. This ice is pretty good. It's filtered. It's good. Al Dowd is here. Alfred Dowd, sporting a new Purdue hat from home field in honor of the Boiler victory. Well, that's a dude right there. Alfred Dowd, my dad, my favorite regular listener, went and bought the Purdue script hat, the black with the gold. And he used Boiled 23 at checkout. Frail Hammer says, class act about Edey. Patrick Gottschall says, Edey is an all-time great. I can't wait to kick ass in March, but don't want the season to end. Yeah, it's weird. I am so torn on this, and I talk a good game here about not looking forward to, but I want to see this team just unleash hell in that first weekend. Not just win, but win big both games. The 8 and 9 seed are tough every year. And you look at the teams that are potential 8 and 9s, they're all those type of teams that Purdue struggles with. Long underneath, thin, and then they've got these athletic guards. That's a tough out for Purdue, no doubt. Rutgers is kind of that team, by the way. Purdue showed them something. Mackey is magic, though. Let's not, like Jay says, why can't they just play the NCAA tournament, Mackey? Purdue would be very, very good in the NCAA tournament. Let's see. Bob Huber says Fletch shot is way off, not hitting inside of the rim. There, Bricks. He's not close on defense either. Looks like a JV player. He doesn't look like himself. He hasn't forgotten how to play basketball. My gut just says physically he's beaten up right now. That's all I can say. I can't figure out. And this is the weird thing. True sophomore in college. We got to keep reminding ourselves. Smith and Fletch, true sophomores. Smith is obviously pouring it on and feeling comfortable. These guys need to pick each other up. So I hope they do. Frail Hammer says, let's see. Johnny says, believe it or not, but I think we'll be very good next season. Well, I absolutely think we're going to be very good. I talked about that. I love the fact this team is going to be so different too. The athleticism is going to be off the charts. So if you're just a fly-by-the-night, what do you call that? I'm using the wrong phrase. I just screwed that up. If you're just a Johnny-come-lately Purdue fan, which you're not because you're here, stay tuned. Next year's going to be awfully fun, and they're going to sneak up on freaking everybody. Nobody's paying attention. Let's go. Again, though, we got like a bunch of stuff to look forward to now. It's like Christmas morning when you get a really good gift and you know there's another one coming because you've already shaken the presents. There's more presents coming. They're going to be awesome, too. Like video game systems and bikes. Hair curling irons. JL says Jones is the X factor, but the bench will need to pull through in March to give an extra gear. There's no doubt. If Purdue is going to make noise in March, it's going to take guys like, remember, when Purdue went to the Elite Eight, Aaron Wheeler played an important part, right, off the bench. That was a big deal. Purdue needs to have that Aaron Wheeler. Is it Gillis? No, Gillis is really just, he's a locked-in six-man. Need another guy to be there. A guy like Heide, a guy like Colvin, somebody like that. Yeah, but absolutely. Oh, good. The balloons are here. Let's see. Robert Gill says next year's team should be like the UNLV Running Rebels. I'm not going to go that far. That was four NBA players, right, on that team. I can't remember. I can never remember the fifth guy who was not that good. It's like the Michigan team who had, 3 NBA players. But Jackson was awesome, too. He wasn't an NBA player, but he was awesome. Let's see. Last comment I'm reading is Who's Johnny? Boiler Up Boys. And that's good. That's all we're going to say for tonight. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you to everyone for letting this be a part of your post-game ritual, win or lose. Let's hope our Boilers can handle their business in Ann Arbor. I haven't seen the score of this. Okay, Michigan is currently up 26-17 on Northwestern, handling their business against the unlikable Wildcats and Chris Collins' punchable face. That's about it I have for you. Have a great evening. It's 9:30. You have plenty of time. Have a great evening. God bless you. Hammer down. Talk soon.